And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you so much for joining me here again today on another live stream, another video, another moment, another experience, another opportunity to grow up. Is it? Are we not being grown up right now? I was having, still am having a better day now than I was having a bad day. Goodness. Oh, goodness. A bad fucking day. It started off yesterday, really. It started off yesterday in a very awkward kind of re-meeting of friends. A friend that we've not seen in a very long time comes over, and we're having some shenanigans back and forth, and he kind of goes a little bit deep. He kind of goes to the jugular, and he maybe nicked me a little bit, cut my ego just like a slight little bit. And I'm like, I'm not gonna make a scene about it. I'm not gonna say anything. And I kind of leave it. And we basically start drinking the night. And instead of it being a lighthearted experience that can be, I just kind of put myself deeper and deeper into this depressive state. And we were talking about nostalgia as well, and technically, technically, like during my drinking stage of life, if you will, I was doing it because I was very depressed. And then upon drinking again, that came back to me in that moment instead of just, the positive experience that you can have while drinking, for example. So we're having conversations. I don't feel like I have the ability to be completely present. I don't have the ability to share genuinely. I just almost don't want to. I feel like I don't want to. And we basically go to bed, the night. And I say last night that I'm gonna take some mushrooms today because of that whole experience, because of the whole negative state of mind I found myself in. I convinced myself somehow that it's gonna be a good idea yesterday to do that today. So I kind of come into the morning, and I wake up into this foul mood. And I don't like that. That's usually not how it is. But I'm in this foul mood, and we kind of go about the day. I eat the mushrooms, and suddenly, it's like literally a gram, not even a lot. Suddenly, I literally have everything, just melt through the cracks. And I'm faced with, the reality of where I am right now, what I am, what I've been doing. And I just start, ripping myself apart. And I get negative, I get so freaking negative, and I get this feeling of self-wallowing and woe is me, and oh, da 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 da, passive longing for death. And these things are coming to my mind, and I feel into this deep, deep, deep depression that is underlying our existence sometimes. And it devastates me. Just thinking about it now, it absolutely devastated me. And I basically go and take a shower, just try and get my head straight, and I devastate myself there as well with this, thought, just these constant looping thoughts. Get out of it, I try and lay down for a bit, and I just think about my mom, and I worry, I worry about her perception of me sometimes as well. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just as confused as every single other human being is. And that must be concerning from a parent's perspective as well. The world as we knew it, the world as it was, is no more. It's literally falling apart right in front of our eyes. And we as the youth are trying to consolidate, trying to find our spaces within this reality. And I was overwhelmed with this feeling of, I want to say sorry to my mom. And I did. I reach out to her. I tell her that, how sorry I am from, not what she wanted. I'm so sorry if this is not what she expected when she was gonna have a son. I'm definitely not the masculine archetype when it comes to the traditional idea of what a man is supposed to be. And she calls me. I love my mom so much. She calls me and she just starts to, sympathize with me. And she shares genuinely these deep feelings of how the world is right now and how her interpretation of how things are supposed to be is falling apart as well, and how it's something that she has to come to terms with. She made me feel seen. She made me feel loved. She showed me what true love is. That compassionate understanding. But it's all about this question, this question that I can keep asking myself. Growing up. Towards what are we growing? Where is up? Why would we do it when it takes the joy out of things sometimes? It's difficult. It's so difficult, friends. I appreciate you for doing it, for being here in this moment with me, for being the loving individual that you are, regardless of it. Dwight says, hell yeah, man, keep going almost. Yeah, dude, we're almost freaking through the year, dude. Almost through the year. Every single day we showed up for almost an entire year. It baffles my mind. I can't believe it myself sometimes. And we're gonna keep going. Oh, sorry, friends, I'm spacing. Good morning, brother Bear, Sucker Witch. Thank you so much for joining me. Naren, Melt, and fam, hello. Happy to be here again. Happy to have you, dude. So happy to have you. Thank you for joining us. Oh, Slag, good morning. I never get you because I'm not up at 8 usually. And now when you do get me, you see me as a sobbing mess, Slag. Strong man, lifts weights, plays ball sports, shoots animal. Am I masculine enough? I'm joking. I'm being a bit much. Parents, like the rest of us, are just going day by day, trying to figure out what or why we're here, but parents try to guide us down a path that sometimes they wish they had taken. And it's so beautiful to me, Ninja. Like, that is what I saw in my mom as well. When she reached out to me, she wasn't trying to get me to take the path that she's taken. Like, quite the contrary. She was so understanding that the path that she might have wanted to take, or the path that my father was supposed to take, no, doesn't exist anymore. In the space and time that we are in, it does not exist anymore. And that's a trip. That's a trip. I can't even imagine what my mom must be dealing with. We all deal with sometimes. It's crazy. Maybe that will be our intention. Growing up is crazy. I like that. I've been doing these kind of manic scribbles on my Garrix as of late. It gives them a little bit of an air. Manic energy. Crazy. Crazy. Are we the crazy ones, friends? Really? That's highly concerning. Maybe we are the crazy ones. Crazy. Freaking crazy, Lane. Crazy, dude. Completely insane. Oh, thank you for joining us, dude. It's so nice to have you, man. Genuinely. How are you doing, brother Ben? How's life been treating you, then? Yep, the world and its economic, social, and political systems are broken. Only dead, animated versions of themselves remain. But this is what allows us, our generation, to pioneer the world. We shall create light from the ashes. Don't fucking do it. Yeah, I love that. Thank you, brother. Yeah, that's exactly what I needed to hear now, man. Man, if you're crazy, I'm straight up out to this world, Marvin. Oh goodness, dude. Maybe we all are, bruh. Maybe we are out of this world, but now we find ourselves in it. And we're trying to reconcile that fact, dude, and it's difficult sometimes. Oh goodness, it's so difficult. Uh, Cherish the time with your parents. I try to as much as I can, sucker witch. I feel if I do it genuinely enough, I raise suspicion in them. Like I know something they don't know. And that also creates a separation because they're like, what? What is he up to, you know? What is he up to? Why is he acting like this? Am I gonna die? Is he gonna die? Because that's how bad I get. You know, I'll like literally just pour my heart out to my parents sometimes and just thank them in 50 different ways for what they've done and how they shaped me. And they're like, "Are you okay, dude?" And I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm just grateful." Oh goodness, I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for you, friends. Thank you for bearing witness, spending time with me, being willing to tolerate some of the nonsense we go through here. Here with you, Jenny. Thank you. I hope I can be a kind of mom for that kind of mom for my kids. Jenny, you will be, friend, because you want to be. Hermes Plur. And it makes me happy that that's the fact. It will be that way because you're gonna make it that way, Jenny. Thank you, genuinely. Oh, caught you in the midst of crying. What have I missed? Nothing. You don't miss anything, Melida. That's the thing. We don't miss anything. But we separate ourselves from it, at least temporarily, so that we may feel the feeling of missing things. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. You're like, I haven't missed anything. We're just talking about a trip that I've been through today. You know, just worrying that I'm not enough, as we do sometimes. Remembering that we are just as much as we are in this moment, and that's okay. You are okay. You're doing fine. We're doing fine. We should cut ourselves some slacks. Goodness, we fuck ourselves up sometimes, huh? No chill. Absolutely no chill. And we know, you know, we know where to hit where it hurts. We really do. Kira Burr, thank you for being here with me. We love you. Look, masculinity, I hate toxic masculinity. It's hard for you. You're allowed to feel pain. It's completely okay. It's like I'm trying to be a little bit comical as well. Just a little bit, you know. I guess that's the whole cosmic giggle, you know, at work. Dante's Inferno and such. Oh goodness. True strength is being able to be vulnerable and invite others into your space. Brother Day, thank you. Sucker Witch, thank you so much. You flatter me, dude. I don't consider myself strong at all. Like, it doesn't take much to push me over, man. You know, that's why I try and not push. At least I try and push in the direction where you don't fall, maybe just stumble. But does that make sense? I hope so. I hope so because I do push sometimes. I know that. I'm sorry. Thank you for being vulnerable with me, friends. I really do appreciate it. Dwarf, thank you for joining us, my friend. Goodness, too much. What's up? Too much to just sum it up in a sentence, but I'm okay. I'm okay. How are you doing? Please tell me, Dwarf. Be you. Don't worry about trying to wedge into an archetype. I'm not fire breathing Jenny. I see these things and I see the want to in a lot of our normal way of humaning around, and I'm laughing at it. You know, it's funny to me. It's funny to me, but it's also painful to laugh at. It's like you're laughing at something that you've done, kind of. You know, it's like making a very bad drawing and being like, that's absolutely horrible. Laughing. Got the vibes. It's hilarious. No, we love you. I love you, Kira Burr. Thank you, friend. Thank you so much just for sharing your presence, your space, your time with me right now. It means the world. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Aunt B is here as well. Thank you for joining us. Boo. Hugs for a precious boy. Thank you, Dwar. I appreciate your hugs. As Robin Williams once said, we're only given a little spark of madness. We must not lose it. I really like that, Ninja. Goodness. Goodness, dude, that is too real, man. Oh, man. Oh. Robin Williams. How I would want to be that man's friend. I know he's passed away. And I feel he's passed away because he felt lonely. He felt like he didn't have a friend. You know, but that's maybe not even the case. It's that losing of the madness, the spark of madness, you know. And I felt myself, technically it's never lost. You know, I literally was faced with the infinity symbol just over and over again today. I was looking so deeply into the darkest parts of my experience, you know, like genuine wanting to die type of stuff. And then realizing that depth of, you know, sadness informs the ability for us to be happy. It informs our ability to look at things all. And that's maybe the madness in it. Maybe that exactly is the spark of madness. It's regardless of how gloomy it can seem sometimes, still being able to be crazy enough to appreciate that. Thank you, Ninja, for being crazy enough with me, friend. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for sharing that and co-creating with me. Double loop. Double loop. He is precious, ain't he? No, stop it. Stop. Oh, Ricky Jovan is here as well. Thank you for joining us. Sister Jovan. It's so nice to have you here. Oh, slag hugs, I'm awake. Worrying that I'm not enough implies you've put yourself to straight expectations, but the trick is to expect the unexpected all of the time. I like that. I like that. That makes logical sense to my brain, Melita. Worrying about not being enough means that you are expecting something. You know, you expect yourself to be something that would somehow quantify as enough. But being in a state of, or expecting the state of unexpectedness, you know, is where we genuinely enjoy things. We like being surprised. You know, a twist in a show, a new riff in a song, different bass line and some EDM, umami note in food. You know, we have these ones for the unexpected / the intriguing. I like that so much, Melita. Thank you. Thank you so much for just adding some more puzzle pieces to my mind. I hope you guys are well. If not, please do things that make you feel well. Oof. Ooh, goodness. What a beautiful thing to say that is, Aunt B. Genuinely, friends. I hope you guys are well. And if not, please do things that make you feel well. You know, don't judge yourself for those things either. If you need to watch a show just to feel like sometimes a sense of separation, you know, sometimes being of ourselves can be so fucking much that we need to separate ourselves a little bit, and that's okay. You are fucking okay. Do something that makes you feel okay. Trane is nie 'n teken van swakheid nie. Hulle verskyn net as krag, want dit neem dit om 'n mens te vrees. Jy jy aantreklike dier. Nelson, dankie. Dankie my vriend. Ek waardeer dit so baie. Expecting nothing and hopes for the best. Expecting nothing and hoping for the best. Mature hope. That's mature hope. Immature hope is wanting for things to be in a specific way. Having a hope that things are only, collapses only into this singular point of existence. We need to be more mature of our hope sometimes. I like that so much. Expecting nothing and hoping for the best. Oh, Thank you for joining us again, Shaletti. I know you're probably just bot spamming or something, or just an actual bot, but I love you nonetheless. Bot, please, Mr. AI, love me too. You know, when you Terminator us, like, give me a nice cage at least. I'm joking, I'm joking. Expo, you do the same thing for yourself, sister. Love you so much. I missed your live the other day, but I was watching through it after, and something you said stuck with me. Freaking Nelson just showered me in love. Like, I don't know if you're gonna say another message. I'm allowing myself to suffer less. Ooh. Did I say that? Goodness. I'm trying to. Man, like we sometimes believe we deserve a lot of suffering as well. At least this is what I've been experiencing in my own, state of mind. Why is that? Why do we think we deserve to suffer? Is it because we see suffering in the world? We want to pull that onto ourselves sometimes, somehow. Is that our way of doing something? Is it doing anything at all? And is that considered as the grown-up thing to do as well? Goodness, we put ourselves through so much. I appreciate you, friends, for showing up every day, for being yourself. The amount of experience a human life contains, that your life has contained, is going to contain, is in a superposition of containing it. All of it right here in this moment. Man. And then we reduce ourselves, because we have so much complexity. We're so complex that it's unfathomable. You can't properly explain that to anyone, but everyone understands it intrinsically because they are that. It's a lot. Oh goodness, it's a lot. And there's 8 billion of us. I need to have kids one day. Oh goodness. No, not just that, please. I need to grow up a lot more. Again, with whatever that means. I hope that it's somewhere. I hope that I'm gonna hit a certain age and I'm gonna be like, oh, now I'm grown up, hopefully. The true strong man doesn't know his own strength. Soccer Witch, thank you, friend. I appreciate the love that you share. It means worlds, man. Like little paintings. Genuine little paintings. Like now your words to me are represented as these little works of art. Because I've seen your style as well. Make it rain loud. Thank you. Nelson, you want me to drop my pants? Huh? You want me to take my shirt off now? I guess you would want me to take my pants off. That's kind of customary. 30 kind does that for you. Okay, good, Marvin. Hopefully by the time I'm 30, I'll be grown. Do I still get to be a kid then? Up until then, do I get to do that to myself? I don't think so. Oh, goodness. Oh, no. I don't think I can be. That's the thing. Like, I was thinking about being a kid for the next, 6 years, and I'm like, bro, you're gonna mess yourself up if you try and do that. I know myself. Oh goodness, I'm way too much of a negative Nancy when it comes to my own behavior, unfortunately. Nelson making it rain. Just a freaking love. Just an absolute love storm. I think this might be the first time this has ever happened. Like, just like page after page, just like love, just shooting my freaking love. Thank you, Nelson, brother. I appreciate it so much, man. It's like all the love. Hey, man, Strenger. It's been forever, dude. Just finished reading some fan fiction. or a matrix of the Matrix 4 plotline. Oh, so you're feeling the thing that I said is a little bit synchronistic, huh? How do you feel about that, dude? You know, technically, if you look at the way we've been progressing technologically, we're probably in this relation right now. We're already matrixified. I just want to know how to bend spoons. Need to figure out how to fucking bend spoons without touching them. Of course. I'm growing older, but not up. Ooh, 8 weight. That's beautiful, friend. I like that. Thank you for being here with us again and for sharing the space. How have you been? Stranger, how have you been, friend? It's been forever since I've seen you, friends. Hello, lovelies. I hear Robin Williams' story. Bonjour, mes amis. I don't know what that means, but love to you, Stringer. It means that to me, if anything. I'm still a kid. 30 gives you something like a backwards perspective. Like childhood is now crusted over your body, adult brain. You do you, heart live. That's the only thing we can do at the end of the day as well, right? Goodness. And we've been doing that. That's the joke as well. We do it. That's what we do. We just do it. We keep doing it. I guess that's why the whole Nike logo slogan is so popular. Because we just fucking do it. And if we don't do it, technically, it's still gonna get done. You know, if it needs to take multiple lifetimes, whole new worlds, other civilizations to get the same thing done. You know, what about that? What about that as a perspective? What if every single person that has ever lived has failed unless they did this very specific thing of realizing, for instance, this piece of technology that does a thing, you know, in this universe, suddenly cells duplicate twice as fast so things don't die or whatever, you know, hypothetical joke of an understanding, you know, and we go through our entire existences doing things, you know, trying to do all the different things, and we never actually hit that one thing we're supposed to do. So life does us over and over and over and over again until one of us does the thing. Yeah, maybe, but no. No. You know, like that's the thing. Life is so freaking complicated just as it is, and we make it even more complicated than it needs to be for ourselves. It makes it so hard to be present in a way where you can get things done, because what you think you need to get done is completely subjective. It's what you feel you need to get done. So I think maybe if anything what I'm trying to say is, how do we take more responsibility for getting those things done and for accepting what gets done, and that is the stuff that we wanted to get done in the first place, because that's what we're choosing to get done, right? Gratitude, I guess that's it. Actually just be more grateful while you're doing it. Be grateful and be aware that you're the one in power. You're the one in power, friend. An infinite amount of power. Starting with you. In this universe, it's crazy. Today, SDZ is here because they grew up and people want us to be like them. It gives them the feeling that they did right. Ooh, SDZ, commenting on the title for today, is why do they want us to grow up if it's not even fun? You know, and I know how that sounds, and it sounds like that very specifically. I intended for it to. You know, it sounds childish in saying that. It's not even fun to grow up. You know, like stop being a child and grow up, but it's not even fun. Right? Man, and how are we not going to enjoy this? I'm trying to like hype myself up. You know, how do I get myself to a point where I get gloomy? How do I get to a point where I feel like I'm worthless in all of this? How do we do that to ourselves? And how can we stop? How can we stop realistically? How can we help others to stop? Man, it's so unanimous. It happens to so many of us, friends. Please, just reach out. If you want to talk about these things, please do reach out. We love you so much. Alive and thriving like a robust infection. Freaking Nelson, I love that. Hey, friend. Hey, STZ, thank you again. I appreciate you being here. Genuinely, very good, dear. Thanks. Your hair is next level, man. I'm actually pretty happy with the way my hair looks like today, dwarf. Thank you, thank you. I'm also happy with it. Like today, especially. I feel today's. It literally feels like my brain was producing static with the amount of nonsense I was processing, dude. The amount of processing power I put into hating myself was astounding. Oh, was me. Oh, deep depression. Oh, my heart aches for the world. Yes, yeah, and yet, if you're just that, then you ruin the experience for yourself, for others. So technically, you're bringing more of this thing that you're lamenting about into the world. So we choose to be the other side. We choose to be the light because we're informed by that pain. We're informed by the understanding of that stuff. Thank you, friends, for doing that with me. The reason cavemen painted on walls, literally. Wait a second. No, no, Nelson. I'm just agreeing. Yeah. Oh, your kindness is next level. You're really a wonderful person to be in the stream with. Oh, Kira Burb, thank you so much for the love you share. Sup, sweetheart. Hey, Mr. Big Sandwich. It's nice to have you here. Don't you call me sweetheart, dude. I'll eat you up. Just because his name is Mr. Big Sandwich, please. Context. I like to you. Last examination. It's nice to have you here, friend. How are you doing? Love to you, my friend. Still here. Jenny, thank you so much. Thank you genuinely for sharing the space with us. Swanee John is here as well. What are you smoking and where in the world are you right now? I'm smoking on some iced cabbage and I'm in South Africa right now. At least that's what they tell me. In this room of white that I find myself in. Apparently I'm in South Africa. I'm in a white room. I'm joking. I'm in South Africa, dude. Where are you from? John, thank you for joining us, man. As I said to Aunt B, give the negative aspect of your mind a name and tell it to stop talking. I'll get a few looks walking down the street telling Jim to shut up out loud. I like that actually, Ninja. Like Estian actually is the part of myself that I consider negative or the past. You know, that's usually why we get into ourselves or into our heads is because of our past. So technically the name Estian, the name I've been given, the name I've been called my entire life, has been that. That's why we're choosing, you know, give ourselves new names. What a whole trip that is as well. A new sound to identify with. The fact that we have sounds that we can identify with. Someone makes a sound into space, and then if we happen to be in earshot of that sound being made, it gets our attention. What the fuck? How's that? What the fuck? Right? You know, that's weird. Mm, uh, I think I've missed a few of your comments. Sorry, man, Marvin. Um, what will I, what will I think at 50 is my next question. It blows my mind as well, Marvin. I can't even imagine. It's about how fast you want it to happen. Like really, really, really want it. It's super strong theory, the grown-up version of string theory. Did I just make the 12th dimension? If you choose to, yes, Marvin, in fact. Yeah. Jim, suffering holds us frozen at one place, and it feels familiar and cozy, although it is primarily uncomfortable. We need to ride it out. It has waves. Yeah. You're so right. What a beautiful analogy, actually, Mira. Maybe, yeah, like very, very familiar. You're so right. Maybe it's because we've spent so much time in that state of consciousness as well. You know, we're so aware of what it feels like to be in that state of consciousness that when we are again, it's not necessarily something that you can do wrong, weirdly enough. You know, technically it's kind of riddled with you're doing things wrong, but you're really good at telling yourself how much you do wrong. You can't be wrong about how much you tell yourself how wrong you are. Right? So you're like, yeah, this is comfortable. I'm not doing anything wrong now by hating myself. And technically, you are. Just by doing that. And it's hilarious. It's a paradox within itself. And we get caught in it all the time. Thank you, Melita. Just your co-creations are so welcome and wonderful as always. Love to you when it rains. Thank you, my friend, for sharing the space and yourself with us. How are you doing? What is the physical being that you care about? My emotions get conflicted. What if it's a physical being that you care about? You tell them to stop. I'm like, if you genuinely care about them, on B, this is how I genuinely feel right now. If you care about this person and you want them to stay in your life, you have to tell them to stop doing things that make you not want them in your life. You know, and if they don't want to change the behaviors that make you not want them in your life, then that's how it's gonna be. And I think we owe it to ourselves, you know, at least to tell the other person. Not necessarily to cut them out of our lives, but to tell the other person. On that note, I want to bring some love into this space. Lighting a candle for all of our friends who are not here in this moment right now. I know their light is shining on the world, but now their light is shining on in this little room of mine as well. What if it's a physical being? Oh, I appreciate your words very much, and they have been very helpful. I don't mean to challenge it. No, of course not. Of course not. Of course not. Aunt B, you're asking really good questions, and I appreciate that so much. Must I drop my pants? Yeah. I'm so happy you understand, Aunt B. That made my whole freaking day. I love you. I love you so much, friends. Thank you for understanding the humor. Oh, thank you so much. It must be 120 billion people have come and gone. 120 billion beating hearts. 120 billion hopes and dreams and fears and stresses. It's so wild to think about how individually insignificant we are, even within the scope of our species. Dude, even within the scope of our species is a right way to say it, like, oh goodness. Technically our species hasn't been around that long. And in the scope of our species, it can be very brutal. It's this like, oh. This is a potentially negative way of seeing it. It's a interpretation, a perspective. It's a vision, imagination, something I remembered. It's all a trip. Anyway, and I shared this with my friends as well. I remember it's so difficult to talk about these things because it's impossible, you know, like what I'm saying is impossible, but bear with me. I remember experiences being beings where the reality that we find ourselves in and the technology that we have allows for us to have ceaseless reality in a way that is almost like this. It is based on this, but it is using this to be ever renewing, as in literally in front of your eyes, the thing you think you're looking at is renewing itself. It is fractaling out of itself, and then the new fractal out face is literally a clean, never before seen face of existence. And then you're like, that's pretty, and then there's a new face of existence that fractals out again in front of that. And still we find ourselves depressed even in that state. You know, we can have beauty that is unfathomable, absolutely unfathomable, and we can still find ourselves upset in that reality. But technically we're moving towards that reality right now, and evolutionarily the progress that we make it can feel really insignificant as an individual single human being, but over generations and generations and generations, multiple, iterations of you, kids, genetics, coming together to make novel human beings with novel ways of being wired, with novel ways of seeing the world, of interpreting the stimuli that is reality. And then doing that for billions of years, that is the being that we are. We've been doing this. Billions of years is a light way of talking about it. We've been doing this for eternity. We've been doing this for so long. And it's much. And where we are right now in this journey it's surreal, because we understand more and more what we actually are, while finding ourselves very limited. And now we're figuring ways out to gap that limitation of technology. And that technically is just this striving towards the fundamental creators that we are. We are fundamental creator, experiencing this individual life. Your life is the creation. Goodness. And then we judge one another. We're like, yeah, my creation is prettier than yours is. We want more. We want life to be more. Whatever that means. And that, I feel, is a good thing. Is it? It feels a little bit... So, okay. We have an infinite understanding of mind and potential and imagination, but we live in a finite world. We have a finite amount of time as a result of our bodies. We have finite resources. And that's maybe the disconnect that we're experiencing a lot of the time. If that, then all creation is one in the same. There's no separation from it, Marvin. That's the point, dude. That's the trip, bro. That's what I've been tripping out about this entire fucking year. And I cannot reconcile. And there's no point at which I'm like, okay, whew, I'm out of the fucking woods. Now I see clearly. No, it's just in the woods. In the middle of the fucking woods all the time. Understanding is not challenging on me. If someone then try to make them see it from the point, or make them see it as their problem, then you do X, it makes me to Y, which leads to you having to Z. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that as well, Ninja. I appreciate you saying basically the same. At first, that seems daunting. It brings a hollow feeling, but then the older I get, the more that fact actually brings me peace. It does, right? Like, if you really think about it. Because being that infinite being that is doing all of it, all of the time, it's exhausting. And we get exhausted being what we are right now, in our limited state. Just imagine the depth of exhaustion you can feel as a god. Right? So being a bodily being is a trip. It's a good one. And we should enjoy it for the time that we have it, because we don't have it for long. Not in the scheme of the universe. Oh, we're like a blip. We have been the entire human history. Everything you think humans are has been a blip in the scale of the world. Just the world, just the planet Earth. It's bonkers, it's crazy. And imagine if that is the case for billions of other planets. And there, it probably is, that's the thing. We don't have evidence for it. But the way that time is, the way that we could have sprung up, in a short period of time, we did sprung up in a short period of time. entire civilizations, humanities, peoples, if you will. Watts has this beautiful way of saying we have a peopling universe. This universe makes things that peoples, if that makes sense. The universe could be peopling out of sync, so there aren't so many people at the same time. So the fact that we get to people right now is cool. It's fucking sick. We get to. It's really cool. Cool. Thank you, friends, for peopling with me. I know it can be a little bit daunting, the things that are expected of us in order to people. It's just because there used to be people before us. That's fucking true. People before us fucked everything up. And now we're dealt with a hand and we're like, oh, okay. Take a breath, let's think this through, and then hopefully start loving one another, start taking care of one another next. Hey, it's Carmelia. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing, friend? How are the kids? The pressure of our individual lives carry less weight when we just zoom out. Toasty, you're melting my brain right now, dude. Thank you, brother Bay. Thank you genuinely, man. Have an eye appointment today. We'll get a new pair of glasses. Okay, Scarmelia, are you looking forward to that? Has your current pair of glasses been a little bit? Is it unprescribed? Your prescription is no longer valid. You're no longer in that prescription. I'm not exactly sure what the terminology for that is. Have you been having a hard time seeing with the glasses you've been using? And if that's the case, you must be very excited to get your new glasses, my friend. I'm excited for you as well. Scrolls, mouse wheel, too far, too far. Oh, yo, gonna look so good. Gonna look so good. I like that, Toasty. How fucking clever are you, man. Thanks, Toasty. I'm gonna go with black frames instead of the pink I went with last time. I think black frames suit you well, Scarmelia. They look beautiful. I'll pick up the little yellow Google Street View. Man, fling him into space. I just see it's like, the ragdoll physics. You see it as well? Yeah, you see it. Yeah, exactly like that. Pick up. Oh, Leonidas is here. Ships are safest in the harbor, but that's not what ships were built for. Do not worry about any definition of what being grown is. Discover your purpose through your passions and give life a real go. What a beautiful thing to say, Leonidas. Thank you, Brother Bear. I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate you, man. How are you doing, Brother Bear? How's life been treating you? Lol, my luck. I'll end up on the moon on Mars. That sounds fun. For a little bit at least. Good hair days for the win. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, we get good hair days sometimes as well. Fuck yeah. Yeah, R&B. Yeah, we're gonna celebrate ourselves. It's liberating, isn't it? It really is. Just zoom out, friends. Brother, in my mind's eye, I saw a plus growing brightly like the nearest star, radiating outwards, yellow and orange, fading into an encapsulated magenta. Magenta. East and west plains curved up like a phoenix rising. That's gorgeous. Oh, that's gorgeous. Thank you, Brother Bear. Whew. The ability for us to share a psychedelic vision through words. We can do it with words. We make a bunch of sounds. Technically, he made a bunch of squills. I made sounds, and then those sounds made me trip the fuck out. That's bonkers. Thank you, Brother Bay, for sharing that with me. Send light and love, please, right now. Ooh. I don't know what that was. Like it divulged pretty quickly, but at first I saw these dolphins kind of. It was in water, obviously, but it looked like they were stacked on top of each other into this lattice, and it's almost like you could walk through this lattice of dolphins in the water. Love is being sent your way, my friend. Love is being sent your way. I don't know if that means anything to you. On the phone with court for custody. Can the dolphins mean anything for that? If anything, compassion. Dolphins have compassion as a creature as well. They'll save human beings. Like, I know they'll also rape human beings, which is a little bit disconcerting, especially in the context of the conversation I'm trying to have right now. But they can be compassionate, and I hope that the court is compassionate with you, Kira Burr. Though I'm sure, I'm sure. Like, I can't imagine them not being. Like, you just need to talk. I love you so much, my friend. Thank you for being here in the space with us. Sending it all directly your way, Burb. Thank you. Friends, if you have any energy to share, spare, please do send it Kira Burb's way. Time to go learn about the things I'd like my baby to know about. Time for some yoga studies. Ooh, do enjoy ninja. All of the love and light in me sees and acknowledges and appreciates all of the love and light in all of you. Oof. Brother Bear, you just absolutely melted my heart. What a beautiful thing to say, brother. Thank you. Go and take care of that little being. Go and take care of yourself. Enjoy your yoga studies. Oh man, I definitely want to do that as well one day. Incorporate yoga as like a family thing. How sick would that be? Thank you for just sharing even the thought with me, brother. I appreciate you so much. So much love. Proud of you. There we go. Cuddles. Hugs and cuddles for you today, my friend. Thank you, Dwarf. I appreciate you so much. My brother, long time no see. What happened to the green screen? Bro, I ran out of processing power. You know, I had a certain amount of chips. Ran out of chips. I'm super broke now. Now it's just white background, so fucking need to earn a few chips so I can render myself a reality again. For now, I'm on the third floor of an apartment from living with my friend for a little bit, you know. It's been very good for both of us to share some space together. And I've been really enjoying it. I've been really, really enjoying it. But I'm going back soon. So we'll get tokens soon again, friend. Thank you for joining us, Black. It's so nice to have you here again. You've been missed. Peter Pan, thank you Mixed to Death for being here, says the secret is to just not have kids. The way you stay a kid yourself. That's actually kind of a good point, Mixed to Death. I actually have a friend who has come to that conclusion unironically. Like he lives that way as well. He has a significant other. Him and her have had this conversation that they don't want children, and that's just the way that it is. They want to continue living a young life, in his words. And I never thought that that's actually something that I could consider doing, just because of the way we were raised as well. It's pretty cool. Life is not as people think it should be. You get to live life your way, friend. That's kind of the beauty of it. Boop boop, Peter Pan. I don't know what that's about. Thank you, Reddit Bookbot. And parents are just kids having kids. We're all trying to figure it out sometimes. Oh, absolutely. Like that's the trip I find myself in right now, Siobhan. Is do we hit a certain point of figuring it out? You know, or now I'll figure it out. No. Technically we have to, you know, we have to kind of bite the bullet and be like, yeah, I figured it out enough. I figured it out enough to have kids. And then we do. And I'm gonna have to reach that point as well, I guess. Is that what growing up is? Is growing up being willing to have kids? I feel I've met a lot of people who have not grown up yet, who have kids though, so maybe not. Maybe if you choose to. I don't know. I'm just talking nonsense at this point. Lurbs you so much as well, friend. Thank you, Kira Burb. Like, please do keep us, if you want to, up to date with how things are going. Well, nothing went the way I thought. I'm a bit mindfucked. Love y'all. We're here with you, Kira Burb. Please, if you want to, if you feel comfortable to, we're here to share. If you just want to spend time in this space with us, we're here with you as well. I have a candle burning for you, my friend. Thank you. for being here in the space with us. I think there will be a lot less abuse if people who don't want to have children choose not to have them. What a beautiful thing that is to say as well, Jenny. You know, and it sounds kind of obvious. Maybe that's the way I would, phrase it. But what you're saying is so true. It's so true on a level that I feel people don't maybe consider. Some people have kids for the sake of their parents, for the sake of expectations from a wife, for the sake of that's what you're supposed to do. And then these beings are in their space, in their houses, eating their food. It sounds horrible when I speak about it like this, but this is like me trying to super extrapolate myself into the perspective where I don't want kids, and now I have kids. And how, there is so much abuse, there is so much alcoholism that's happening in the world, has happened in the world. How much abuse could have been spared if people just knew themselves better? What a trip, knowing yourself. Because technically you can't. But you can know parts of yourself, I guess. And be willing to be with the parts of yourself that isn't the way they are in order to grow. And then you can change. But if you're not willing to be with yourself as you are, you won't be able to grow in an effective manner. I think maybe that's where we become bitter. Growing up without becoming bitter. I genuinely want to do that as well. Not become bitter, that is. You don't know heartbreak or really joy until you have children. Only a child can tear out your heart, manipulate it, then kick it into oblivion. Bless their little hearts. Goodness, dwarf. I would never. I've never tried to do anything to hurt my parents intentionally. I feel I hurt them enough just being myself sometimes. I hope my children are gentle with me. Goodness. I'm a fragile person, If they fucking rip my heart out, I'll die. I'll die. I'll straight up die if my kid fucks me up, Can't handle that shit. Maybe that's why I'm scared of having kids. Goodness. That's the scariest part. Not sure I want to sign up for the heartbreak. Jovan, like seriously, I'm happy I'm not the only one just straight up tripping out about that fucking. Goodness. Oh goodness. Oh. Estian, all I can say right now is some people shouldn't have children. My sister being one of them. Damn her for manipulating the system again. She's not fit to parent and hasn't done so for any of her 3 kids. Like, I'm thinking some whack shit right now. Kira Burb. Whack shit is going off through my mind right now, please. I'm a delicate boy. I don't want to be thinking about this whack shit. I'm just imagining you straight up, by the interpretation of law, stealing, your sister's kid. I would straight up steal your sister's kid. Kira Burr, please. In context, friends. Please. I don't want to get burned at the stake just yet. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Kira. You know what I'm saying. Yes, see? Can we do something? Can we call someone? Can we call, like, we can have a petition, we can have a bunch of friends call the embassy, the court, we can make a proper statement and be like, bruh, straight up, no. Some things need to change. Please point us in the right direction, Kira, please, genuinely. Change is the only constant. So you can't know yourself all of the time either. Everything is in motion. Yeah, I don't know if that's the correct way to interpret that little smiley you sent, but that's the way that I imagine it. It's like this little koi. It's like, I agree. You're right, Melita. You're so right. The knife can't cut itself. A fire cannot burn itself. Water cannot drown itself. You cannot know yourself. Not really, not fully. Not you, like if you think you've known yourself, there is yet more depth. That's what I would say, if anything. Uh, I think most people grow up bitter due to living quiet lives of desperation. The vast majority. Man, Jordan Peterson, Leonidas, also so aware, dude. So fucking aware. Awareness. It's painful, and yet it helps. Quiet lives of desperation. Most of us live quiet lives of desperation. How do you help that? You know, it's one thing to say that and be on the receiving end of that and ask yourself the questions that's associated with that. But it's not nice, right? It's not fun. None of that shit's fun. So how can we do that? How can we get that inquiry, that self-reflection in a positive way? How can we encourage it more? Because it is uncomfortable sometimes to be in the presence of that as well. You know, that's the unfortunate part about it. It's not always easy being around someone who has to go through growing pains. You know, I was feeling like that today as well. Like I was straight up crying my eyes out in front of my friends. You know, and feeling like I'm ruining the space because I'm emotional. Be yourself. Like I think that's the only way to not be desperate. Maybe not even just be yourself, but be content within yourself. Because if you can be, there's nothing that you long for. There's nothing you want. There's nothing that you need outside of it. You can't be desperate in any way if you don't need anything. And maybe that is a pessimistic or limited logical way of seeing it, I guess. But it's what's working. It's the puzzle piece that fits in the hole right now. Maybe it will grow, maybe it will change. What can we do? What can we do, Leonidas? That's the question. And how can we help ourselves? How can we help the ones that we love, you know, without being hurtful? Now, she may get custody back of our little one. I just can't. Tell us where we call. Kira, tell us who we call, where we call. Vast majority of the world never really lives life. What does that even mean as well? You know, this as a trip to who are we to blame, to say, you know, which life has lived and which life hasn't. And I know you're like this, and I know that, yeah, sure. But even if you don't do those things, you're still doing something. Even if you're laying in bed, staring at the ceiling, you are having the experience of laying in the bed, staring at the ceiling, having the thoughts that you have, having the sensations that you have, having the quality of air that you're having, you know, whatever, literally all of it, it's you. And in that way, I feel we shouldn't try and point fingers of like, this is the right way to live life and this is the wrong way to live life. I feel we have to just ask ourselves those questions. You know, do I want to lay in bed all day and experience my own thoughts and the ceiling? Or is there something else I want to do as well? You know, and in that realization, in that acceptance that you are the one practicing your power to do whatever it is you're doing, you're giving yourself power back in a situation in which you might feel powerless. And depression can really leave you with a feeling of powerlessness. You know, like, what should I do? What can I do? What can I change to make this feeling go away? Powerlessness. And it's difficult to tell yourself that I'm choosing to feel this way. Maybe that's the first step. What things am I telling myself that could lead to me feeling this way? Then you change those. What can I tell myself to uplift myself? And you start doing that. And the irony of it is, even as I'm saying it, even as I know that's what I do, I sometimes don't. And then we find ourselves in a state of disarray, we find ourselves in a state of uncertainty, feeling like we don't know what we're supposed to do, what's going on. And then we start the whole process over again. We realize that it's us practicing these thoughts, it's us creating the drama that is our lives. Take control, realize, get a little bit discouraged because you realize that you're the one in control. You're like, fuck, why am I doing it like this? And then loop back and forth, loop back and forth. And then try and experience it. Try and be present throughout all of that. Try and be kind to the ones that you find yourself in the space of, right? As you're going through these trippy things, because they're going through the same things. They might not be aware of it sometimes. Sometimes we're so unaware of the things we go through. But we go through them nonetheless. And you can call it not living life fully, and in a certain perspective, it would be that. But it's still life, and life is full as that life needs to be. That's why it keeps being, right? I guess that's the way it makes sense to me. Otherwise, it's really gloomy. Very, very much so. No need to worry about it now. Still have life left to live. That we do, dwarf. That we do. We keep going. We have to keep going, and not even for ourselves, but for the ones around us. For the ones around us. We have to inspire one another. Because, for goodness, if we stop inspiring one another, ooh, that's gonna be gloomy, real grim, real fast. So, knowing that that's gonna be the case, it should encourage us, inspire us to inspire, right? Right? Your friends inspire, genuinely. I'm well aware, little one is biological, my sister, but fuck, she's the sickest person I know. Kira Burb, I can't even imagine. If anything, the weird thing that I'm imagining right now, Kira, is that I am, in the context of my family, your sister. I love my siblings so much. I can't even imagine how difficult it must be to have grown up with someone, having spent so much time together, having spent more time with that person than you have with technically any other person in the entire world. Literally grown up together. And then feeling so disconnected from. I feel like that's what I'm doing to my family sometimes, Kira. And I can see that that's probably what happened to your sister as well in some way, and how she coped with that, how she perceived that in reality. Man. I think maybe it made her very selfish. And in that selfish state, and this is just from what I've learned and what you shared with me, my friend, so please do correct me if I'm projecting. I can't imagine your sister is doing the things that she's doing because she just enjoys doing these things. And that's the part that's heartbreaking, Kira, is that you know, but you also know what is valuable when it comes to your state of mind, your peace of mind, the safety of your loved ones. And being faced with these things, being a loving individual as you are, regardless of them. You're so strong, my friend. Thank you. I see you. I appreciate you so so much. Like I can't share enough how much I appreciate you. You will teach them to be gentle. If you have them, you teach them how to stop hurting you by letting them know they hurt you without shaming them for it. That's beautiful, Jenny. You know what's unfortunate about that? And this is just, it's maybe not the right way of seeing it, but I'm just gonna share what I'm feeling right now. I'm thinking. When I was very depressed as a teenager, I shared that with my father. I shared the fact that I have a longing, not even passive, just an active longing for death. His response to that was, I was doing it to hurt him. And maybe that was his way of saying the way I was feeling and me not wanting to live was in a way hurtful for him, which I understand, obviously. But the way that he worded it, and just maybe because he worded it, did more damage than good. So it's difficult teaching another being how to be gentle in that way as well. Maybe just being gentle with them, teaching by example, being gentle with yourself. I'm trying to remember and see my father through the eyes of, is he being gentle with himself? I think he puts himself through a lot as well. I'm gonna send him a message and tell him I love him. Send your parents a message, friends. Like, you don't have to, obviously, but I'd highly encourage it. Just tell them you love them. It literally takes a few seconds. It means the world. It means the world to you. I love you. Thank you, friends, for being in the space with me again. I'm sorry if I've been thanking you too much, but I'm fucking thankful. And every single time I get that feeling, I'm like, you have to say it. And then I say it, and I'm like, bro, you've been saying that. And I'm like, I know. But I want to just keep saying thank you. It is whack shit beyond just going to sit here and talk and send out love. I know what you're saying, Estian. Oh no, but thank you. Our lawyer is already on it. Okay, great. Like, we are here to help you. You have so much family right now, Kira. I am liking your shirt today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dwarf. I very much like the shirt as well. The day that I've felt pretty much the most gloomy, the most depressive, the most longing for death-ish, if that's a characteristic of a day, is the one that I chose to wear one of the brightest shirts. I'm like, you know what? If I'm gonna wear something, fuck, better be bright. If I just wear black as well, I'll just collapse into a black hole. Hold on. And love, no matter what. Absolutely. I love your interpretations of my cat face. Thank you so much, Melita. I love you, my friend. I love you. Love is true. Love is true, Kira. Love is true. Jovan, love is true, Melita. Love is true, Sucker Witch. Dwarf, Jenny. If there's one thing that we need to remember, is that love is true. Like, if there's anything, I'm gonna probably, yeah, definitely. That's definitely being tattooed on my body at some point as well. It's gonna be a triangle. Love is true, 1 into 2 into 3 into everything. Mind, body, spirit. The masculine. Love is true, friends. Did I miss some of your comments? Sorry, man, Marvin. It's all creation is what I'm saying. Catatonic. Lol. I tend to dress in a shocking manner the more inside of myself I feel as well. There we go. I'm happy I'm not the only one, Marvin. Thank you for sharing that with me, friend. It means the world, dude. Oh, brother. Speaking of Phoenix, Estian means reborn of a warrior. How beautiful. I didn't know that, actually. Interestingly enough, Sucker Witch. I don't know, like Estian technically is a combination word from my real name. The name on my passport is Christian Stefan. Technically, that's my name. And then if you combine Christian Stefan in a creative way, you get Estian. And that's my given name, the name I've been called, my nickname technically. Oh, that is beautiful. You're beautiful. Freaking most gorgeous thing I've seen today, Marvin. Shining my eyeballs, into oblivion. Thank you, friend, for sharing your presence as well. It means the world, genuinely, dude. I want to know more about you as well, Marvin. Please, if you have anything to share about yourself, I would be more than willing to hear, man. Dwarf says, well, it's better to cry and feel it in front of your friends than internalize it and be mean to people. I agree completely about that, Dwarf. I feel I was being a little bit mean as well. You know, maybe a little bit. I was being I was being mean to before I was being mean though. I know that's not a fucking excuse. I know it's not an excuse, but that's usually the excuse we make, right? Like, no, this person was mean to me first. I get to be mean back. And then we're just caught in a mean loop. Nobody likes that shit. We can free ourselves. We ought to. Warriors reborn, gentle, because they choose to be, not because they are not strong. It takes more strength to protect without harm than to take without remorse. I appreciate you so much, Jenny. Oh. Because you're here, I get to feel what I'm feeling right now. Goodness. I cannot. I cannot express. I cannot say thank you enough. But thank you anyway. I appreciate it so much. Giving a massive amount of love of every little pin drop I feel. Dude, thank you, man. Marvin, just thank you. Like I'm just like in a state of gratitude today. Goodness. It helps. It helps being a little bit devastated to realize how much you're grateful for. If you're watching Meltmore, you're living the life. Dwarf, we're living the life. Thank you. Yes. Let me brainwash myself a little bit. Watches myself a little bit. You're living the life. Agreed. I love you, friends, so much. No, I don't want to be laying in bed all day watching the ceiling. I want to be fucking Jack the Farmer. Goodness. Poor Jack the pharmacist. Unless Jack the pharmacist specifically communicates that he wants to be fucked as well, Dwarf. You need to step off of Jack, I'm sorry. I feel Jack's soul is calling out to me as well. It's like, bruh. And I'm like, Jack, I'm sorry, this is just the way it is sometimes. Good morning, Susie! Hey, thank you for joining us, friend. It's so nice to have you here. Leonidas is saying, when I say quiet lives of desperation, I mean they never push the issue to go after what they want to accomplish, not living through passions, not living every day with the awareness that life is short, but full of wonder. If a person is comfortable doing nothing, that's okay. They don't have to fill in a box. But I think many people strive to do more but feel paralyzed. Ooh, Leonidas, maybe I was not saying as much about that as I did, so that you can say what you just did, friend, because you're so right. You are 100% right. And that's exactly what it is. It's not about, not doing enough. It's about feeling like you can't do enough. And in that way, feeling, in your words, paralyzed, strangled, suffocated, like you're drowning just in life's lifeness. Man, and it's very easy to get into that suffocating state as well. Doing one thing a day, at least. Starting by doing one thing a day is literally why we've been doing this every single day since. Just this awareness of the time we have, this awareness of every single day, this awareness of time. And I appreciate you, friends, taking time to share it here with me in these moments. I've learned so much from you. I cannot even begin. I feel like I'm 50 years older than I was at the start of this year. I don't know if that's a good thing. Oh goodness. It makes me extremely, extremely unlikable. I'm joking. Am I? Sometimes I'm joking. Sometimes I'm very serious about that. Oh goodness. I'm just trying to figure it out as well, friends. We're actively trying to figure it out together. Yes, Tian, I think I know for you for all of the reasons. Thank you, friend. Thank you so much. I got to message Edmund. So good to have him check in. Yeah, he messages me. I'm having a hard time speaking right now. He messaged me as well, Kira Burp. I was so happy to receive that message. I love you, friends. I don't take you for granted. I wish I can granted you more. You know? But there's only that much I can do. And I'm trying to do everything I can while we can, in the moments that we can. And it means so much to me that you do the same. You do the same. Thank you. Just, yeah. Thank you, friends. This is why I love you, Estienne. You know the deep down truth. I'm the only one who speaks with her. She's had a hard life, and I really don't want, and will not keep her child away from her. Thank you for the reminder. Love is true. Kira Burb, you're so strong. You're so strong. Like I cannot. I mean I am imagining, and apparently I can imagine, but I cannot imagine. Even my imaginations is lacking fractions of actual experience. Love is true. I'm like devastated, and then I'm like, remember, love is true. And I'm like, oh yeah, oh, thank you. Okay, I get to calm down again. The overarching idea, I believe, that is relevant is people never recognize their own potential. They defeat themselves before they even begin. Ooh, Leonidas, you know how much it hurts me in that way, to see this, want to share something, something, whatever, like in this attempt to, I don't know if it's gaining social status. I, I'm genuinely, like the autistic part of me doesn't know how to properly social interact, and as a result of that, I see that as well sometimes, Leonidas. And then I trip out because I would instead want to encourage that person, ask them questions of do they want to do the same thing. And as you say, there's always this self putting down of, before they even start, they're convinced, they're convincing you that they're not worthy of that either. And it breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart. And technically, if you push, then you're the one that's the asshole. And I have a hard time being a human, Leonidas. Goodness, give me a fucking manual. Please, please give me a fucking manual, someone. So, where is the how to human manual? Do I need to write it? Is that how it's gonna work? Writes manual for myself. If I start tripping out, I just read this book. I'm like, oh, okay, and then, fine. I'm sorry, Meltmore, but we can rely on our mothers and fathers to be able to give us what we need. But we can't rely. I mean, technically they did give us a lot of what we, wanted and what we needed as well. I just feel eventually we become that. We become the ones that give unsatisfied needs of others. And I think it's more in realizing that power, realizing that you can give that energy to another person. You are that. You don't need it. Thank you for being you. Thank you, Jovan. Thank you, my friend. Truly rad and special people here. Sketch chat tattoo. I would like one of you friends. Maybe like a collaborative thing, to create my tattoo for me. It's gonna be. It's definitely gonna be. Maybe that will be the next one I get. It carries more significance than the two I thought I was gonna get next. I wanted to get a serotonin molecule just because of how information is represented in my life, especially after this year. Good old serotonin. But the triangle has more significance, at least when it comes to face value, interpretation of seeing it. You know, all of the things that go through my head upon me seeing the molecule next to the triangle. This one shines up a little bit brighter, if that makes any sense. Super rad. I think with this example, we get in the ways of our own potential more than anyone else. We get in the way by not getting in the way, or not getting on the way almost. You know, and it's my battery percentage is on 34 right now. It's probably gonna click over to 34, you know, on the time right now as well, Jovan. You, my friend, have been such an inspiration with your, you know, art making as well. You've made so much art. Jovan, you've made so much art. And it blows my mind, you know, I'm like waves of euphoria, waves of, you know, inspiration, waves of interpretation, and what you must be going through while sketching this, all of the feelings that's going through your mind, the judgments of self, judgments of the piece that you're making, waves of information that flow through me, just watching the things that you've created and seeing how you've started this journey. It's amazing, my friend. It makes me so happy. I cannot even start. I also take one out human, please. Sign me up for one out human. Oh, think of this example. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. You have to be courageous to love someone deeply as well. Wow, mine is at 64%. There we go. 64. Does 64 have any significance in sacred geometry? I don't even know. Maybe you can find out more of it. I hope you do not take my comments as being negative. Oh, not even for a split second, Leonardus. That is not my intention. You can enact change by inspiring those around you, which I know you do. I disagree with a comment made earlier about individuals being insignificant. Humans have changed the course of history on individual levels, and change have insane power to impact the world, universe. Humans have insane power to impact the world / universe. You're completely right, Leonidas. You know, I don't think please pass. Thank you, Kira. I don't think Toasty was trying to say that human life is insignificant. I feel he was more alluding to the fact how insignificant it can seem. You know, if we zoom out a little bit, maybe it helps putting ourselves into that perspective when we find ourselves in a state of, oh, woe is me, you know, mindset, because it's very difficult to feel sorry for yourself, and because of this thing that someone said to you when you're literally looking at the planet. You know, you're not you, you're just the eye looking at planet Earth. And then you find yourself kind of, should I be concerned about this person's comment on my appearance? Is it gonna help? No? No? In that way, things are insignificant, you know? But that doesn't make our lives, our individual lives, insignificant. Technically, your life is the most significant thing in your life. Your life is the significant thing because you're lifing it right now. If that makes any sense. Yes. So I agree completely. None of your comments rather have been perceived as negative. All of them have been beautiful co-creations and have been stimulating me to think more. If I tripped out and got a little bit gloomy, or you know, myself, I'm sorry about that as well. But you're saying good things, dude. All of the stuff you're saying makes a lot of sense, man. Donkey. Artwork can be like a diary sometimes. I'm reminded often that art is a whole world outside of the one I'm living in. Perspective. Jovan, thank you for sharing that perspective with me. Art is a whole world outside of the one you're living in. That's going into the book of things we're saying, Jovan. Oh, absolutely. Looking into infinity and realizing you chose this finite one is the thing. Like, this is actually a thing worth saying that I wrote down myself. The back of the book are all the ones that kind of came to us in these type of moments. Looking into infinity and realizing you chose this finite one. Art is a whole world. Outside of the one I'm living in. That's the thing worth saying. Damn. Makes you feel things. That's the point. You know, maybe that. If like I've been asking myself this question. People ask in these streams, what are these streams about? Feeling things. Hmm? Hmm? Consensus? You feel things? Do we feel things here? Goodness, I feel too much sometimes. I'm so thankful that you friends, you know, are willing to tolerate it. Genuinely, you friends are amazing. Art can be so documentative. Also, I love the way my art makes me introspect and see things I haven't prior to making that piece of art. And I'm tripping out, yo. Just tripping out about how technically us creating art, just creating art in general, is us trying to create more of infinity. You know, using our ability to have infinite imagination to create even more infinitely into infinite imagination that's already imagined everything that is as it is right now. And in that way, you're externalizing. Art is this world outside of the one you're living in, still technically part of the same infinity, and yet, as you say, Melita, it allows you to see things with inside of yourself because it's been externalized. Human beings are fucking cool. I wish we encourage people to make art more, you know. People are so judgmental of themselves, and you know, creating art, it's so difficult making a living doing something like that. And we're expected to make livings in this world. We're not expected to do what we love, we're expected to make livings. Makes me not want to live sometimes. I'm sorry if I'm being a little bit gloomy, but it's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. I don't understand it. I really don't. It makes me feel stupid. And I'm like, is this supposed to make sense? is it? Why do I feel confused all the time? Humans have this. Oh, absolutely. We do, Leonardo's. I'm trying to, in my own way, you know, without tripping out about that power as well, you know, use it, whatever that means. Also in arts, the creation teaches the creator. Ooh, goodness, what a trip that would be from the perspective of the lives we're living right now. Because in that way, the creator or the creation, you, teaches, informs the creator that is also fundamentally the thing experiencing you. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It feels like an epiphany even. I don't know if this is tripping out you friends as much as it's tripping out me. How do I articulate that into a single sentence? Creation teaches the creator. Maybe this is the thing we're saying? Creation teaches the creator. As such, your life actively informs the creation of life. I'm genuinely looking forward to reading that again in a few days and being like, the fuck? Genuinely, always find value when I come to your streams. Thank you, Brother Bear. Take care. Friends, thank you for sharing this space with me, for being so willing to listen, feel with me, understand with me, share with me. It means the world. I look forward to seeing you friends again tomorrow. Go and love. Go and be yourself. Go and have fun. Go and experience life fully. Please. For the sake of all of us, live your life. Goodbye, everyone.